promise to give you the best.
Oh, well, don't do it because I'm not promise anything.
On scene at Newtown Square Fire Department.
All right, this is our 300-foot pre-connected bomb line. It's a 2-inch hand line off the back of 412. Basically, what's going to do is you're just going to pull this strap here that's hanging off the back of the line. You're going to pull it and walk straight away from the fire truck, and when you're done, you'll have a 60-foot length of hose that's 5 thick. So you have 300 feet of line all stretched out in a 60-foot area. Then you can disconnect your strap and walk with your nozzle, and it'll flake on its own. It won't tangle, so you charge the line prior to stretching out the full 300 foot. Okay, it's designed as a one-man pull, so that in case we run into a problem where we got something that's set back off the road or whatever, away from the truck a far distance, and you only got limited manpower, we can get a long line down there with only one guy doing it. Okay, does somebody want to pull this first, or you want me to go ahead and do it?
I've never done it.
Okay, go ahead, Jim. Basically, all you're going to do, Jim, is grab that and you'll bring your nozzle with you. Everything will come out.
So I put my hand from my shoulder, I just go.
No,
I just want to
just
keep ahead of
pull.
it.
Yeah. You don't. Nothing goes on your shoulder.
Ready?
Go ahead and make.
Sorry, Jim.
I can't pull that. First, I don't have any adrenaline either.
Flaking off?
Some lights here, Rob?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. I prefer. Okay, now let's come down to the end of the line. What you do is you have 300 foot sitting here in a limited length. Okay, now all you have to do, you can lay that thing down. Go ahead and disconnect your rail. Okay. Now you're the nozzle man. It looks like a mess, but it will come off for you. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you, you don't have to walk too far. I'm going to tell you, it's not going to be easy to pull one person. Okay? Because it's 300 feet of hose. And no matter what you do, it's just like pulling a booster line, man. After so far, it's not easy to pull the line. Okay, but the idea is, right now, if things was laying like this, and you had to fight the fire right now, this second, you could charge this. This will not tangle up. You'll have water at the end of the line, and you can fight the fire. Okay? And when you have to walk, you're going to have to walk. Okay, and we realize that it's 300 feet. It's going to take a little bit of effort to get this thing out. But it's really the only way that we found that we could get 300 feet that one man could pull, or one person, sorry. It might be a little tough, Kim, I don't know. Depends on how much weight you've been lifting. It's not easy. It's not even easy for me. You saw Jim had a little bit of a problem with it.
Okay, after everything was pulled, we were going to show how to put it back on the truck, and now they're just disconnecting it, and they're going to lay it all out for us here. Newtown Square 41.
What we'll do is we'll lay the 6 lines in a row. All right, now what you got? You got 6 lines of 2-inch hose here, 50-foot lengths. Okay. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to stack this stuff on top of each other and connect it as we do, so that it's approximately 60 foot long. Stacked on top, you'll have 5 layers, which will give you the 300 foot, and then we'll take this thing and put it up there. Okay, and it all gets loaded at once. And bear with me, I know it's a little difficult, but over a period of time you'll get used to it. Okay, now first thing you want to do is your first length of line, bring it up here near the truck. Okay, and you're going to leave yourself a couple of feet so that when you put this thing up into the bed, that you have that leader that comes off the Y into the bed. Okay, where the actual hose is packed. Now, Tim, go ahead and grab this one. Walk this down and no, we just laid it out like this because it'll make it easier to reconnect everything. All right, Kim.
get some light on her there.
Oh, you're on camera.
Let me hold one there.
Get it?
The ring is lying.
These couplings are a little weird because what it is, it's got a 2-inch coupling. It's reduced down to 1.5 inches, and they're new. They're not like the other ones we used to have. Okay, you're connected. All right, now you're connected to your first link. What you want to try and do, like it's straight, is even these things up so they lay flat. Okay. I'm gonna walk this thing approximately another 10 feet.
10
Yeah.
Once the coupling has been made, you
Okay,
walk
now
the
stack
hose
it on
approximately
top.
another 10 feet, then double it over itself, if you didn't hear the
Okay.
chief say that. As you can see right here,
Try and keep everything
it's right on top of itself.
I know this takes more than 2 people to do.
And if you cannot hear what the chief says, we will continue in this fashion until all the hose is sandwiching itself. Kind of sounds fun. Reminds me of college.
It's funny. Okay. Much easier too.
You got all this extra help.
Yeah, since you got the cover up.
That's right. No, did I walk back up this other end?
Yeah, now just keep stacking it on top.
How far back do I walk back?
Just a couple of feet short of
The original.
the end of this one.
Okay.
That's good too.
Now we
Maybe a
flip it
little
over.
more. A little more. A little more. Take it up to about right this far. See that crease right there? That's just hold it off.
You want to explain that, Rob, right there?
Okay, now the reason that this is single here rather than doubled like the rest is because this is your length of line. Wait a minute, guys. This is your length of line that's going to take you from the Y into the bed, into the hose bed. So you need that little bit of play there. Okay? All right, continue. Yeah, it is weird. But I'll tell you what, you gotta flip this thing anyway.
Yeah. It's like rolling a ladder. Is it this falls apart? No.
Now you get 4 or 5
Not with four. Not with four.
Notice the sandwich-like formation. Very pretty, very easy.
Believe me, we didn't have the greatest time with this thing the first week we did.
Good for when we have like a real fire.
Okay, leave it down there.
Got to make sure to brace the hose while it's being laid on top of each other, so it doesn't flip off and you have to do the whole thing over again, as Kim was just doing right there. This is what it looks like.
Yeah. Not only do you get to fold it, but first you get to flip it.
God.
Okay, now what you have to do, now is space yourself out. 4 of you, space yourselves out evenly along the line. And what you're going to do is you're going to roll this thing towards me, okay? And keeping it in one piece. Now, it's
Why do we roll it towards you? Because you've asked us to?
yeah,
we
because
can
it's got to
literally
go
roll the other
upside
way
down.
too, right?
It's got to go upside down. What's going to happen is you'll have to walk along after you roll your part. Okay, go ahead and roll it over. Roll it over. Okay, now you have to go by and dress it up. Here's what it looks like.
I hate autofocus.
Okay. Brandon, stay there. I'll tell you what. Let me explain this before you come down. I miss Now, what you're going to do is your line's ready to pack it on. Now, you're going to treat this as one long length of hose, not 5 or 6. Okay, now one long length of hose is just thicker than everything else we've ever seen. Okay, guy on the end is going to pick this end up. He's going to take that female coupling and connect it to your wad.
Oops, sorry.
Okay? Then you're going to take that and you're going to feed it into your hose bin.
Move it over, that's right. Yeah.
Flipping it over.
Just,
As if it were one big
okay,
piece.
so
Roll
what's
it in,
going to
yeah.
happen is you're going to take this thing, you're going to connect it, and then it's going to roll like this into the hose bin. Okay?
Never let a hose coupling fly.
If we're short guys, we could let that fall apart in the back as long as we
Yeah.
smooth it as we come in.
Yeah.
Hey, guys all the way in the back.
You ready?
Right?
Does somebody take command and give orders, or
Huh?
does someone take command and give orders to you, or I mean?
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, you guys ready? Let's proceed. I'm doing it by myself with Robbie watching.
Robbie likes to watch.
God, terrible.
Huh? I heard that. Smart ass.
I'll put this in
You of
like
all
this.
people. Got
No
room.
comments from the peanut gallery. It's disgusting. I have virgin ears, remember?
That's from Virginville.
Okay, there's the point. Put the
Oh,
hose on
Jim,
your
you're
right
making it
shoulder.
sloppy.
I'm holding
No,
it.
it's working.
I'm holding it, Kimberly. I like that name. Please use your toilet paper.
Okay, take a look at it. I'm feeding it up into the hose bin. Okay, James.
Flip it again.
Flip it again.
Hand on the pull.
Can you get in your way just a second here, Robbie?
Try and keep your line together, guys. Not too much overlap. Take it easy, Doug. Yeah. Frank, I'm going to have to butt in front of you.
Okay.
Are you almost at the end?
Yeah.
Did you put that right against the front of the compartment?
Okay.
Coupler.
Okay.
How's that taste, Jim?
Well, the trouble he's having, he's going to tell us how the threads are different from the 8th blade. I just know.
We have national standard. We got a lot more moon brass though.
Okay, flip that nozzle.
Flip it.
The nozzle has to be handle up. The pistol grip up. There you
I
go.
didn't know what you meant.
Okay.
Where's my loop? You gonna put the loop on?
Okay, where's the strap at?
Right here.
All right. Your strap goes through the nozzle and through your top layer, okay? You see what I mean, Kim?
I'm sitting there 5.5.
Better do, Bob.
Well, some are 4, some are 5.
I hope I'm hitting it with this.
They got 3. They got 3. Hospital
I got it.
Then you want to put a hydrant in.
Okay? You take that strap, you run it through the nozzle, the handle, okay, your shut off, and then it goes through your top layer of hose that's looking at you, okay? Not the excess stuff that's on the top back here. You want to hit your last loop showing, okay? And then when you pull that, it'll come out like it did last time.
Okay, quick dissertation. The 4-inch is pulled off the reel. The assistant, the reel operator is pulled over here because it is a reel and can put, according to Carl, 12 tons of
I wonder if
pressure
I could get some kind of
or
kit.
force against this 4-inch
But
hose.
then that's just
You wrap it
another thing to
around
grab, too,
just
you know?
like so
Like
and
something-
foot it. So if something goes wrong and he pulls it, only a few feet jerks away from you, thus not harming anyone. Rather, if it were looped all the way around, it could catch and whip all the way around like a slingshot and knock you on your butt.
Nicky's just pissed off.
Well, I tried to talk to him.
Now here's Jim Biddle putting on the
He's got a
HEMAT
attitude.
valve.
I tried to be nice with him. A couple times I asked him to put his gloves on, but he wants to.
And here he is now. We're hooking up the 4-inch coupler.
Arrows go that way.
Okay, you look at the arrow. It's nice and big and yellow. And look at that. Your coupler goes right into the arrow. Very easy.
Mr. Narrator.
Very easy. Well, I missed half of the thing, so I have to narrate what I
Need a
missed.
little light on it. Spin it to the left.
Now you
Okay.
don't need a spanner wrench.
No, I take my girl.
Look at the dexterity that Jim manipulates that coupling. Now,
The coupling is not tight because the spanner wrench I am holding does not exist.
okay, they're paused to get a spanner wrench. Carl, our fearless leader, teaching this. Brendan.
He's afraid of getting a loop out on the road.
Jim Biddle.
Will be 10 foot from the hydrant anyway.
Okay, here we go.
Spanner
on.
wrench to make sure it locks. All the way to lock.
When you hear the click, it's locked.
Yep, keep going.
Wow! There you go.
It's like a German Virgin. It's good and tight. Okay?
You'll hear it click to hear it's engaged. Then you'll have like a
Gesundheit comes out loose.
1 or 2 inch slide. Then you know it's in when it's tight. Don't walk away from it unless it's tight, right?
Right.
There you go.
Unless you hear that click, it's liable to come off.
That's right. Damn straight.
Okay, which way do you want your valve?
But let me get this one. This looks good. My camera works appalling on this one.
Okay, which way is the water going now?
Right now, it's not going to have it turned on. It's not going to do it.
We'll go this direction.
So the next truck
What
comes,
is the function of this one?
hooks up to that with a 6-inch soft sleeve.
And where's
Then
you
you
put
get
that?
another
And
line,
what goes in
forwards,
here?
hook it up into the
What does this valve
Helps
do
when
then?
Frank turns on the light.
Then you're putting water into the truck. When it's going in the truck and out, the 4-inch that you
pressure.
just hooked up there,
Yeah.
then you're pushing more into
And why is that called a four-way?
Now you have a flapper valve inside here that is now.
Now water is getting into
The
the truck.
flapper
Run the
valve
valve
is
again.
in line with your handle. If the handle's horizontal, the flapper's horizontal. If it's vertical, the flapper, she is vertical.
Wouldn't stop and see.
Okay, that's good for the 6-inch. What about the 4-inch? How do you know when it's open or not?
Okay.
Same thing?
Same thing. If it's closed here, it's pushing the water down. This is the direction the water's going with the handle.
Okay, that's a good way to put it.
Right.
Hey, let me
The
get a better
handle's
picture for that.
horizontal,
Sorry.
waters are going that way.
All right, do that again, Carl. That's good.
Water this way,
It's Italian-German.
now your water's going down.
And where's it going? It goes down?
Goes into where the truck's going to go, so they wouldn't have to think about that. All they got to do is think about getting the loop over.
Yeah. You're also always assured of... Flapper one.
Oh, that's what. We're just waiting for Charlie if you want to save the film. Always waiting for Charlie.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I was furnishing stage breaks.
Scripting. Yeah, we're going to script it. While he's getting all his shit set up so you can roll the hose off, you can get your valves and the pony over there, and then you go through. By that time, the man will be up that high. Okay?
Are you guys ready?
Here
Ready?
we come,
Action.
running around the side of the truck.
Walking quickly.
Okay, I'm not going to do that all in one shot.
Cut. This is a tape.
Jim has pulled the step out. He's now standing on the step so he can operate the real Tony. Charlie brings out the pony, lays it next to the hydrant and the HEMAT. And now they're ready to take a length. The other way, there you go. Take note of how he wraps it around the hydrant doubled. So if it were to be snapped around, well, that's the incorrect way of doing it.
That's right, because we don't have that on the tape.
That was the incorrect way. Now Carl Ewing comes out from his own personal vehicle and will show us the correct way of doing it. You double up a short length of it, approximately 10 feet or so. depending whether you're a burly man or not.
Yeah, the whole idea is
Wrap it around gingerly the base of the hydrant. So if it were pulled back, only 3 to 5 feet or so would be snapped away without the coupling, being much safer than if the whole length were. Then you would come around.
you're going that way, right?
Sorry, it's coming this way. We're about to run out of battery.
Probably the thing with that is,
And you would come around as here, and you would foot it. And if it were snapped away, only that much would whip
You don't
around
want
and
a lot
you'd
of
be
loop
safe.
out there.
Okay.
Okay.
Officers and front seat riders, take note of how much fun this is. Don't take just you and one man to the dress site.
Water becomes very, very difficult. Some help on Okay, you got it, guys? Okay, we're going to try 3-piece hard sleeve. We don't have much lift, so it doesn't make much difference. Now let's put the other one on. And then we'll start this. Okay, just make sure your connections are tight. I want to beat them too much.
Hanging on for that. Yeah, I got to put my gloves on. What's behind you there? Got it?
Put that on the end.
We ought to tie knots because you got a hold on, right?
That's another quit.
Most important thing about barrel frame is take the rope out of it before you screw it on.
If you can screw it on with that rope, well, I would like to see it.
Guys in the back, take it easy. Guys up front are getting into a slippery trick. Guys in the back watching to make a turn up front, they don't turn into the truck and take the paint off. I'll fix it for them. Yeah, everybody calm, they do a drop. That's right.
Gonna have to go a lot further in the net, brother.
That's it, baby. You don't got enough to make it. You're going to need a hose short.
Take the ladder in further.
Go fish.
Take the ladder to the edge of the creek. Let's see what we get.
This way?
Put the ladder. You want it, Richard?
Yeah. Whoa!
Hold up.
2030 hours, KDK 66.
Yeah. Stay there. Just fuck it up. The reason Company 41 keeps their pumps wet at all times is so that the packing will seal so we can do this. You go in the middle of the county, they laugh at you for that. But when they go down to fire school to draft, they don't ever get water.
The last time I put that color out, the better show you before it's done.
You should be able to make it.
Neither have I.
Yeah, just straight.
Hold on a second.
Action.
The Apollo nozzle doesn't take that long to set up. We started well after they began setting up that operation. We had 6 people helping. It's a 2 or 3 man operation. It's very quick and it's very easy. A drill, when you do it with 20 people, it takes longer, like everything else. The way it's designed to be used is with a 4-inch. You could use it with a 5-inch and adapt it. You can use it with a 4.5 and adapt it. That's what the manufacturer suggests, is 4, 4.5, or 5, okay? You must bring the hose out, in a loop, back around. The last thing that you do when you set this up, and I want to point this out, is connect it to the truck. You never connect the hose to the truck. The pump operator never connects the hose to the truck. The officer never connects the hose to the truck. The guy setting up never connects the hose to the truck until they're set up. You always set it up outside of the collapse zone. You always, if you go more than about 200 or 300 feet from the truck, or if you can't see the pump operator, you put an inline valve in. Don't worry about putting the Jaffrey valve in. It's okay. If he puts 150 pounds on this, you're not probably going to be there anyway because you're going to be going for a ride. Okay? They suggest on this, although most deluge guns and similar devices suggest 80 pounds, this manufacturer suggests, with the exception of a 2-inch tip, that you can go to 100 pounds. But as soon as you go to a 2-inch tip, you must go to 80 pounds. Rule of thumb for drivers would be 80 pounds. Take into account for your friction loss, because if you're flowing a 2-inch tip or an 1 3/4 tip, you're going to be flowing a lot of water. In the case of a 2-inch tip, you're going to be flowing close to 1,000 gallons of water. Your friction loss is probably going to be up around 20 pounds per 100 feet. So please do take into account for that. You fellas that are operating this thing, you have a choice. You can either use the straight bore tips, which are probably preferable, or you can go to the adjustable nozzle that we have in there. That will also flow anywhere from, I believe it's 250 gallons to 1,000 gallons a minute, depending on the amount of pressure and how much flow there is. With this setup, remember that the smaller the discharge is, the smaller the hole is, the more reach you're going to get. Okay. This device does have, this appliance does have pins on it. You can lower it below that point. Don't. They're on there specifically to be used when the thing is mounted on a piece of apparatus. Do not go below that. Is that pretty much a standard operating procedure? Is that correct? Am I safe in saying that? The manufacturer strongly suggests it, and I'll say now, don't. Okay? Or you may end up going for a ride. When it's mounted to a piece of apparatus, like it could be mounted on one or could be mounted on one, then you can take the pin, pull the pin, and you can go even lower. Okay? Get a lower grade on it. The loops are necessary. If you can find something to tie it off on, please do so. The reason for the little hammer is so that you can pound the little spikes in and they will go into asphalt. Those are the biggies right there. Make sure you have enough hose. Make sure you're outside of the collapse zone. Make sure you don't connect that damn thing until you're all set up and ready to go. You go back to the truck and tell him you're ready to go and hook it up yourself. If you let him hook it up and he's excited and it's a big fire, you're going to take a ride with the damn thing, or your 4-inch isn't going to be connected, and all of a sudden there's going to be 1,000 gallons a minute of water coming through it. Okay, do not connect it to the truck until you're set up. Stay outside of the collapse zone. Make sure you have the appropriate tip. When in doubt, go with a smaller tip. You'll get more reach. Okay, you'll get more reach out of a smaller tip. As when we start to float a stream through the woods, and it's unfortunate because all the trees are right there. Once you get outside of about a 10 to 15 inch in diameter stream, once your stream breaks apart further than 10 to 15 inches, then it's time to go to a smaller tip. Okay, at that point it's time to go to a smaller tip. Stay outside of the collapse zone. The collapse zone is 1.5 times the height of the building. Okay, make sure you stay outside of the collapse zone. Make sure that you have the appropriate tip. Pump operators, make sure that you're putting 80 to this thing. If a chief officer or the officer in charge of the operation comes over and tells you it's okay to go to 100, it is okay to go to 100 with this particular device, as long as they're not using a 2-inch tip. As soon as they go to a 2-inch tip, you must go down to 80 pounds. You must go down to 80 pounds. Okay? Make sure you got your loop in your line so you don't go for a ride. Okay? Anything else?
Revamp.
Start all over. How far is it supposed to be?
When you get a chance, just...
We've changed the loop of the hose, that's all.
Right here.
Yeah.
Just read that. It tells you how to set it up. If you forget, just look at that and it's a draw.
The thing is on the straps here, guys.
If this thing's going to drag back, there's pressure. There's friction in there. That force is going to stabilize. What?
All right, he's going for the primer
Primer
pot.
and bring your RPM up second.
Get up to down first. He just said,
If you ease it up, you're better off not yanking that clutch. Watch these gauges down in this area. See them pull down.
You know, if you could leave the generator off, Ben could talk a little easier probably.
Yeah, we're all right. We got all the light we need. All right? Yeah. The more hard suction we have on, the longer it'll take to evacuate that air. That's a constant volume pump.
discharge
There you are. Okay. Put them in. And now, are they ready for water on the stang? Oh, hey, Mike! I'll tell you. Mike, say you go. Let's come over here. Drop. Hey, Mike! Are you ready?
Well, I've also got pressure over here.
Now.
What I've got to do is open up that valve in the back.
Okay, yes, he is.
With the discharge. All right, we're going to push this into the
Carl, is Mike ready for water?
It's already in. Rod, you just come back there?
Hold him.
I'm not doing anything.
Tell me when. Hey.
All right.
Here it comes.
Go ahead.
Okay, send him water. What are you going to send them?
80 pounds of pressure. Lift gauge. I mean,
Harry, get your hand out of there. Thank you.
There's 50 foot of hose there. What do you think the friction will be?
all right, maybe about 10 pounds.
So then you're going to give them 90.
Yeah, you can live on one of them gates. I can't really tell them that.
Let's look at where it is, though, and we'll get him to take a couple tips off. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
This should have been the other way around, but somebody didn't want to understand why that was on there. to the biggest tip. How they put that in? I guess I can give you one more stream like that. I hit the limit to the pump. I'm going to take it. I'm hitting the limit to this hard stuff, man. I'm going to take him up to 80 pounds now. Yeah, go ahead. Also down here, this is a compound game. Then taking this door. So there's more than one line over here. Right now I'm looking at this one. Okay. Okay. Here we go. We're going to one question. This is a lot more accurate. This sets up the whole pump. This sets up this gun. Look at it. You're not really down on that back line. Alright? That's the line. That's how first you have to look at it. All the other trucks don't have a special gauge. You have to install it in here. How about the new one? Is this the Apollo? No. This is for anything. He opens up an Apollo. He goes you down one line. You can usually get down two. So he can have another Apollo. Or two hand lines. Whatever water he's flowing on the fire ground now, he could double it. Bring your angle up. Four-story window. But then on that device, it's a four-story window. There's a reach for the knob. I'm saying with a 200. If that's a four-story building, yeah, we're not one of those. I know. What do you mean? Out this way? Yeah.
Where do you put that through, Ben? One more time.
Through a frame. And a frame is the size of the open window you'd be trying to get into. And when you put the stream through the window, if it's going through that imaginary frame, then the nozzle is rated to make that many stories, or that distance of reach. 10 feet, 10 feet, 40 foot in the air is 4 stories.
Yeah. So you got to be 40 plus half of that. 60 feet away.
Yep.
Just walk down and see if you can set a company if anybody wants to see this.
There's going to be more reach. They only do that when you have inadequate water. A given pressure that you're supposed to operate on a given size tip will give you the same reach with each tip. But when you get on the fire ground, you can't get the reach you want. There is no more water. You can take less water by using a smaller tip. That'll increase the tip pressure, and that will get you the reach you need. But it isn't necessarily true that any given tip getting smaller will give you more reach if you had adequate water on the first tip you had on there. Generally, when we're working straight streams, we're really interested in having a very high gallonage of water show up at the seat of something. So the largest tip that will give you a effective stream. Effective is what? Anybody, we just talked about that. All going in the target you wanted in. Okay. So what's effective on one situation might not quite be in another. How big is the window, right? So if you're putting the water where you want it, you want the biggest tip that will put the water where you want it. Unless the fire chief comes along and says, you've got a small job over here and I got a big job over there, then there may be a special reason to put a smaller one on yours, just to cut your flow down and have it for somebody else. Okay, so it's not quite so straightforward. What's on there now is a wide angle fog nozzle. Fog nozzle. There's a loop around it outside the periphery of the nozzle, and you can see the stream is that wide. It would be hollow if it wasn't for some teeth pushing some of the stream into the cone. This is good for protecting exposures or where you can get the stream narrow enough again to go in that window. But lots of times the solid stream will give you a better reach because the stream will stay together longer. Also, this does not have a lot of mass and the water that's going up there. So if you're going at a hot fire, you're not going to get the penetration you want. You're better off with a solid tip. I checked it before we went. Chevrolet, we've used the world's Vidian Chevrolet. Excuse me. Don't turn no more nozzles on me. Vidian Chevrolet, and the fire's ripping and you can't seem to vent it. Put this on about a 45-degree angle. The nozzle. Widen your nozzle stream out.
Wide pond.
Okay. Anybody feel any air being pulled in along that? Yeah. If he brings it up to the right pressure on the truck, you can suck upwards of 10 to 12,000 cubic feet a minute of air with the stream. Use this nozzle, get back in the building 15 to 20 feet, and then fill the opening, squirting out the door with the nozzle. The public won't understand, but all the guys getting cooked inside with the smoke will be very glad for what you did.
It's not going to go anywhere. Even if he takes it up to 100 pounds, it's not going to go anywhere.
Hey Ben, we just hit 250. We just hit 250. Now on gallons per minute. We're going to pressure down.
We're showing 1,000 gallon a minute.
60?
What's your pressure?
It's over 100. Oh, what's that show over there?
1,000 gallons.
It's a 500 a minute nozzle.
No, it's 1,000.
It's wide and breaking up some, only a couple feet from the nozzle, no matter what we adjust it to. Where the solid stream would be a cohesive solid stream up several stories in the air. We were looking at these guys. Notice the recess is cut in here. If you bang the face, you don't hurt the knife edge on the actual orifice itself. No scratches in there, no paint in there, no nicks in there. If you have to dress them down, you need to use like 400 or 600 crocus claws, something very fine, so you don't add scratches, or all those scratches will tear the stream up. It goes the other way, where you get more flow. What's that? He doesn't look at it. He's trying to give me as many RPM either. Oh, here we go. It's going up now. What are you guys showing on there?
Open it.
Yeah, that's what this one over here is showing.
How about open it up once for us?
Huh?
Open it up for us once. Go to a wide fog.
This is all in the air. And we were talking about how it gets hot. When we were at the school, this little plants they had, water plants. When you're at the fire, you could be near the truck. There's a good likelihood you'll make the back of the truck on the jump seats and have to help hook up that hard suction and get draft picked up and water flowing before you can leave and go down toward the fire ground. So that part's very important. Take a look at what we did with the ladder. Take a look how we kept the strainer off the bottom. Take a look how we made sure our connections were good on the hard suction before we put them out in no man's land. Those of you in the bottom walking in the creek discovered how easy it is to stand up out there and understand why you wouldn't want to be trying to stand up and beat the couplings at the same time. We should have those couplings well greased with white
lithium.
Lithium grease on the gaskets all the time. Then you don't need to hammer them. Just take them in snug. Cross the threads on one of those. Being in a hurry, we need a new piece in there because we can't ever get that thing to seal if it's cross-threaded. Take your time to get it right the first time. Get them good and snug and you're not going to have a problem. So much for that end. On this end, we set up the Apollo. When you leave here tonight, if you don't know right now, we'll take time to set it up. We won't charge it again, but we'll set it up and knock it down if we have to. That thing operates at a couple hundred of water horsepower. You don't want to have to wrestle a couple hundred horsepower of any kind. If you set the nozzle up properly, it's very stable, it's going to do a good job and fight the fire as it should. If you set it up wrong, it's going to fight you. It's going to win. You're going to watch the rest of the fire out the hospital window if you can get one facing that way, if you're lucky enough to still be able to see. So all of you, especially those guys who are firefighters, before we leave here tonight, make sure somebody could say to you, set up the Apollo here, wherever here might be, and you would need no more instruction. All right? Go over, make sure you know that before you leave, how the straps are going around the hose that are going in front of it, the fact that it loops and makes a turn and has at least 10 foot coming straight out the back, the angle it's set on, the safety interlock, and how to know that it's safe. Because somebody's going to go to you, are you ready for water? And you want to be in a real cold sweat, not be sure when that thing starts to hiss at you. So go look at it now and make sure you walk away with that piece of knowledge, because that's the most likely spot you're likely to be assigned a task as a firefighter. I trust everybody that's wearing a red hat has been through or watched or got back over here and gave himself a little bit of refresher on drafting. When we draft, we put the pump in volume. If it's leaking anywhere, it won't slow the leak down by being in pressure. So it won't help you to get the draft. Often we only get one good drafting position. We want all the water we can get. When you set the pump to pressure, you cut the flow of the pump in half. There's no reason to do that when you only get one position. If you need more pressure, park a second truck, let him boost the pressure, and you do the lifting. All right, but have the one that owns the key spot in volume so we get as much water out of the creek as we can. Note that when that truck was in good shape, we couldn't throw the prime away with one discharge open. We could have probably primed the truck with a discharge open. All right? So it's reasonably easy when we have the truck well maintained. All right, without getting run over, when these guys, after the cars get through, go over and make sure you know that nozzle inside.